You love podcasts, the stories, the laughs, the unexpected turns. But when this episode ends, the silence starts. Not anymore. Audiobooks.com turns that silence into your next great adventure. With over 450,000 titles, from bestsellers to hidden gems, your love for listening just found its new best friend. And because you already know the joy of audio, we're giving you 3 free audiobooks to start your journey. Imagine your favorite podcast, now with unlimited episodes. That's audiobooks.com. Keep the story going. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. Because for podcast lovers like you, the end of an episode is just the beginning. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.
Chewing on a piece of grass, walking down the road. Tell me,
I'm playing Ventura Highway from America. George Martin's on there for somewhere. You know why I'm playing this? You guys aren't on the mic. I keep them down low so it doesn't bother this moment. But it seems America's lost its way. But if you listen to this song,
Ventura Highway,
it really hasn't. I'm here to offer hope. I think America's going to be just fine, even though the news is insane constantly. Just don't pay attention, turn it off, and you're going to be okay. Listen to this instead. Oh, yeah.
You're gonna go, I know.
That. What could be wrong? Johnny's here. Zuckerman is here. Richard is here, and Rufus is here. What could go wrong?
Got any jelly?
Oh my God!
Biz.
And we've got a great show for you. I hope you've tuned in on your drive or you're working. I saw someone on a forklift listening to the show. People traveling, people commuting. We're with you. It's Wednesday. We're excited to be here. And let me just fade down the America.
I used to drive a forklift. That was fun.
I've always wanted to drive one. I as I've said, I think a couple times, the road grader was what I wanted to drive. I was really into road graders growing up, and that was the first thing I said to my parents. I go, that's what I'm doing.
That thing with the roller?
No, it's got the big blade in the center on the belly.
It tears it up.
Yeah, the road grader.
I like the thing with the big barrel, that
Steamroller.
heavy barrel.
Steamroller.
Yeah,
the roller.
The crusher. That's kind of your personality now. You became that.
Yes.
We could get a hold of these. I'm sure there's like a PR department at Caterpillar that's got a grader.
Didn't you have that
forklift.
phase with Richard, like all the construction equipment videos where you're just
little bobcats?
Yeah, you're just watching that stuff nonstop.
He never got it. He went through a construction phase.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw the road grader on the highway, and it just struck. It was like lightning, just like bam. That's me.
Can you reach out to Caterpillar? I want to drive that shit.
Fuck, probably.
That would be something I'd really be into.
Could you imagine? That's our new show, Spike. Zuckerman with a steamroller.
I can't even handle the old show.
Or a garbage truck.
There's a place in Vegas where you can do it. There's a
is.
whole construction equipment site in Vegas.
There
you know,
is.
there's like the Uzi place where you can fire Uzis. There's a construction place. I had to look into it.
And the hookah place. You go from one, you're making a hat trick. We did all 3.
3 minutes and 20 seconds in.
Well, we never talk about hookers. That's new.
You know what's interesting? I was looking, we just we switched over from our old hosting company Audio Boom to a different one, and I was happening to check in with everything for the first time in many, many years. And we had a G rating. We're a G-rated podcast. And I was really surprised on Apple.
No one's listening.
It said clean.
What?
It said clean. And I went, yeah, nobody's checking this stuff.
Wow.
Like, talking about hookers in Vegas is not clean. I mean, it's not terrible. It's factual. But how did we get a clean rating with that guy right there?
I was going to say.
Mr. Chuckoff over there. You said Mr. Seaman.
See, this is what I'm saying.
I mean, if it's a Nazi hooker who puts your Rolex in her Gucci after she robs you.
Oh, my God. 4 minutes and
That would
20
be the
seconds
greatest
later.
weekend ever. We shot machine guns We used construction equipment, and we got rolled by hookers.
Robbed by hookers?
rolled and robbed.
Zuckerman's rolling the steamroller, rolling the hooker.
Are you guys stoned or something? What's happening here?
We're stoned.
Leave him in needs.
You on drugs?
Yes.
What was in the hummus tonight? I've never seen Lieberman laugh like this.
I've had a rough week.
Yes, I think we all have. But I'm serious. Like, I have this new theory that you can stop watching news, that we doom scroll too much, and everything is clickbait scary. And I think that's why people are losing their minds. So I've been weaning myself off of it. Life's pretty good if you don't read the news. It's really, and I think most people are kind of doing the same thing. I think the world is pretty reasonable right now, except for news, media, and politicians and websites that have clickbait.
We are entering a new phase. This phase eventually ends with you at maybe 80 or 90 taking your hearing aids out and just saying, I'm off the grid. I'm completely off the grid.
I want to be sometimes. But I'm on the grid tonight.
Oh!
There's so much to talk about. We have so much to cut through. I've had so many cars. I'm sure you've had cars. This is one of the first things I had to bring up. Because... And now I'm going to dive into what's wrong with California, and it needs to be said.
Is this Governor Ferriston territory?
It will be in a minute. It will be in a minute. I mean, just this morning, Zuckerman, I didn't even bother you with this because it's too boring and ordinary. But I'm in the flats of Beverly Hills behind a girl in an electric Jeep, and she's just running stop sign after stop sign. I filmed it. After the 9th one, I stopped filming her. Without any sort of issue or problem. I pulled up next to her and took her picture just to kind of send a message like, hey, I saw you.
I'm a creep.
And she's on her phone running stop signs. And listener, dear listener, this is just so commonplace. I didn't even call Zuckerman and say anything about it. So let me get to the story. Speed cameras. They're announcing the proposed fines for speed cameras. So this is the type of thing that's going on. And here's what they're focused on. If you go through a speed camera from 11 to 15 miles per hour, you're going to get a $50 fine, which is interesting because it confirms the go ahead and do 10 miles an hour over the speed limit rule. That seems to confirm it, right? If you're 11 to 15 over, if you're 16 to 25 over, it's $100. 26 miles per hour or higher, $200. If you're 100 miles per hour or over through the speed camera.
I like this. This is a category person I like.
It's a very reasonable $500.
Oh, everything indicates that you should go 100 miles an hour over the speed limit. You get most bang for your buck.
But here's why I'm fake infuriated about it right now. And yes, you could cue my gubernatorial music. Gubernatorial. Thank you. I'll have to learn that if I'm going to run for governor.
You'll be the goob.
There's no focus on the actual problem, which is people are killing each other by driving with their phones in their face. I'm seeing so much more of it, and there's no focus. There's no anything. There's no fine. People, today, 20, 30 cars. Phones in front of faces veering over the yellow lines without any sort of ramifications. Or I come across the 5-car accident on Sunset on the way to the Palisades because the dummies couldn't take the turns because they had their phones. They're all bloody on the sidewalk.
Do you remember?
Where's the focus, Zuckerman?
There is no focus.
But let's stay on this. Shouldn't that... Rufus.
Rufus has a question for Governor Ferriston.
No, you know what that is?
That's the soft palate.
No, it's the inverse sneeze.
Yes.
You got to cover his nostrils right now, and it'll stop.
This is the weirdest thing I've witnessed.
No, just cover his nostrils, and he's going to breathe her. She'll breathe through her mouth.
And now she's cured. This is very good, Ferriston.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for you.
Dr. Ferriston cured.
Oh, no, it's back.
Worse than ever.
What did she eat to cause that? That's the only thing you can do, and then she'll breathe through her mouth, and it'll be fine. What is this? The inverted sneeze, right?
Yes, there is no more law enforcement. Everywhere we used to look for speed traps for where the cops would have, it's not there.
We've said that,
no one
but
gives a fuck.
there's no legislation, and I'm going to be running on it when I run. Because here's what I believe is going to happen, okay? I'm going to make some bold predictions right now. Biden's dropping out.
What?
He's dropping out, either dropping out of life or he's just going to drop out maybe by the end of the year or a little later. And Newsom is going to leave the governorship of California, and he's going to run for president. That's my prediction, which maybe it's wishful thinking.
Maybe it is.
Leaves a vacancy
for Governor Ferriston
up in Sacramento.
Can you imagine you in Sacramento?
No.
Sacktown.
For Governor Ferriston, and I'm telling you, the things I am going to focus on are this. These $500 for going 100 through a speed trap. Are you kidding me? We're talking $2,500 for your first phone offense. No. $2,500 for your first phone offense because you're going to kill somebody.
Oh, phone offense. Yeah,
phone offense. I don't. Speeding. I'm not worried about.
Yeah.
It's phones.
Okay.
I want phones. I want this stopped.
I like this.
I've had it. I've had it. Right. Okay. Then left lane drivers. As I've said before, there's going to be some sort of death penalty.
How about motherfuckers at In-N-Out that run the red light and block traffic from 4 directions at once and just sit there?
That's the capital offense.
Capital offense.
That's bad.
Ferriston, as your Rudy Giuliani, I have been working on some other platform points that are progressive.
All right, let's go. Because I have said before, anything that Zuckerman proposes, I will say into the mics.
Well, no,
he's really my political strategist.
I have some quality of life things. I want to talk to you about the meters that are constantly gouging us.
Yes.
And from now on, Mr. Ferriston, you will get a refund. Senator Ferriston is going to give you a refund on your unused minutes.
Senator
Ferriston.
Governor
Ferriston is going to give you
I like
refund
that.
on your unused minutes. And in fact, let me tell you, if you park for less than 20 minutes, if your business is that quick, you get a full refund.
Nice.
There's no charge whatsoever. Get in and
That's
out.
right. You get refunds at the meter. That's a good idea, Zuckerman. I like that.
And just so that the parking attendants there, the parking enforcement is just not a force for evil. They're going to carry asphalt around, and they're going to patch those potholes in your neighborhood. So for every ticket they write,
I think people are laughing at that suggestion, Zuckerman. They can't even write the tickets properly.
Okay.
They can't. But I'll say it.
I'm into it.
Here's another one.
But look, Governor.
You're right. A meter maid's being a force for good. How about they just occasionally toss a quarter in and help people out?
Okay, they got a little.
I love the idea.
They got a Santa sack.
I love the idea of forces for good.
Yes,
like the city and state forces doing good things for people, so we're not afraid of them.
That's right.
Yes.
Now, construction companies are going to contribute to a pool for tire insurance. You get a nail in your tire, you can apply to the pool because there are so many nails in tires in these neighborhoods around here.
Yes.
And
you're the one who told me that the city is responsible for any sort of tire damage.
That's for potholes, not for nails from your neighborhood contractor.
Well, don't they have an obligation to keep the streets clean?
They do, but I don't understand why there seem to be nails everywhere. When these guys come up the street to do their job, are they just depositing nails everywhere?
Yes.
Like Johnny Appleseed and nails?
You should have seen.
All right, what else?
My house
Well, we got one last thing. I want to
hear what else.
Because everybody thinks that we're only about cars.
Yes.
Under Governor Ferriston's plan, you're going to get new garbage pails every year. New garbage pails.
Okay.
And we're not wasteful people. We are not wasteful people.
Can we do a lifetime appointment?
Yes, and we're not wasteful people. We're going to take the old garbage pails and we're going to turn it into housing for the people that don't drive.
Yes.
According to Governor Ferriston.
But look,
dictates.
Mr. Giuliani, I have a question about that because I just got new garbage pails. I was on the phone with the city and I had a nice chat with a lady, and everyone has a serial number, and you give them the serial number and they pick it up, they scan it, and they give you the new one. The garbage truck, who, by the way, is one of our listeners, the garbage truck driver, his machine smashed the new one on the very second pickup.
Perfect.
It just went crush, and it crushed it and broke it. Now it's broken again.
And it's a question. Do you think it's a defective foreign-made garbage pail, or is your waste management person applying too much pressure?
Oh, do you think he can control the squeezy pressure?
I don't think he can, but I think he should be able to.
Yes.
So he can give a nice crush.
You know what
if
he did?
wants
you know
to.
what he did want to control?
Yes.
He offered to dump garbage in our lime green GT3 friend's driveway.
A whole load of puke juice right on there.
He goes, I know who that is. I take his garbage away and I have to turn around. There could be an accident. And I said, please don't do anything.
So
I've since chatted with him, and we now...
Vigilantism.
Mr. Giuliani, I have a clarification.
Wait, I'm tucking my shirt in.
So the phone people that are now living in the old garbage cans, can their houses house the homeless?
Yeah, that's going to be a penalty. It's going to be trading places.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. All right,
This is great. Now
I'm on board.
we just need the dominoes to fall in place.
Yeah. Perfect.
And,
all right, we
we'll
solved
go.
that. Let's do Arizona.
I just don't hear anybody. Maybe Fetterman. Sometimes, I just don't hear anybody talking about stuff that people care about. I hear them talking about culture war stuff and other BS, but I don't hear them talking to the average voter.
Kitchen table
and making
stuff.
sense. And so many idiots, like, I'm not really going to run for governor, but so many idiots like me have just run on basic common sense and they get elected right away because people are tired of being ignored.
Meter enforcement.
They want their lives improved. They don't care about the little TV fights anymore. They want their lives improved.
Telling you, Ferriston.
Yes.
Governor, the meter would be a big deal.
I think some sort of weaponry in the front of your car that allows you
Gag the governor. He was
I'm
doing
all
so
for
to
good.
take tires out of the slow left lane drivers.
Ooh.
On the subject of high beam drivers, too. People with their high beams on, there should be some reverse laser to blind
Well,
them.
that's difficult because so many cars now have the auto high beam that works okay depending on the car.
How do people not know that their high beams are on?
They know. They don't give a fuck.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, they don't get. Why would they care about you?
I want to know who these people are driving around that have lights on in the front, but all the lights on the back are out.
How is that?
There's a lot of that, right?
There's a
There's a
ton
lot
of
of
that. And they don't seem to know, ever.
I think they do know and they don't seem to care, but what is that problem? Is that a fuse?
Traditionally, I call it a fuse, but in modern cars, it's got to be a computer chip
Right.
of some sort.
I don't want to say it's all Land Rovers, but it's been a couple of Land Rovers and then a bunch of American cars. It's
Fords.
a
It
lot of
seems to be a
Ford
Ford,
Explorers.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, anyway,
All right.
stay tuned. And I promise if I am your governor, California, we will do a decent job. There's some applause. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, everyone.
yes. Vote Ferriston.
I'll get Schwarzenegger.
You
Come hang out and erect his cigar
I was going
tent.
to say the cigar tent would be the one thing in Sacramento that's really appealing.
One of the next things I'm going to do, everybody, quiet down, is cars and coffee wherever you want them. Any mall that you want to have a cars and coffee, it's now legal. You can make as much noise as you want, Lamborghini guys. And you will not be held liable for any accidents, Mustang guys. The police will not be there to write you up. How's that?
We love it.
That's right. Oh, there's no sound. No more sound issues on any of your cars.
700 decibels, just fine.
Yes, I'm going to up that limit to 700, 800 decibels.
Good.
If you're under that, you're fine.
That's the earth imploding.
Yes. Thank you.
700.
Thank you. All right. You can also flip off anybody you want in traffic. There you go.
Oh, I was flipping off. This
No
guy.
problem. Speaking of flipping somebody off in traffic, our friend Tesla guy got sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Oh, the pipe guy?
Yeah, where's that story? And kind of good news, you hear the idiot complaining side of crime here in L.A. No one ever gets arrested. No one ever goes to prison anymore. They're afraid. It's all because of Tesla road rage guy, 5 years in prison for his series of attacks, including one in East Pasadena. He had a lengthy, this is what the prosecutors cited, lengthy criminal history which spans nearly 2 decades. 2 decades, Zuckerman. Yeah. Multiple states, jurisdictions. They also said Radimak is his name. Radimak, I'm going to Radimak you.
Straight from the Balkan Wars. Straight from ethnic cleansing comes Radimak.
You're probably not wrong, actually.
I'm not wrong.
Out of my way.
It was only 2 decades because he was in the Balkans cleansing.
What happened to your face?
Throwing bodies down a well.
Yes.
I got Radimak. You too can have the Radimak for only $9.99. It comes with a potato peeler.
It slices and dices and beats you with a pipe.
A record of run-ins he had with 8 different states since 2004, this guy. So for 9 years, 9-year crime spree finally comes to an end. Is that a guy we're afraid of in prison, do you think? Probably, right?
He goes right into the AB or Nazi lowriders. He gets in. He doesn't have to prospect. He doesn't have to be a pledge. He's just right in.
We like the cut of your jib, Radimak.
Don't kill that guy.
You think they'll fight over Radimak? You think they'll all the different groups. He'll be pledging them like fraternities or something. I've been accepted to all the colleges, and now I have to choose which one.
Yes.
The white supremacists. What are the other gangs? I don't even know what they are.
They're all
Everybody.
MA, the Mexican Mafia.
Yeah, he's an enforcer. He's a good guy to have in your prison gang.
Rhodes Scholar.
In prison, his peculiar mental twist is an asset. It works just fine there. Suddenly, life is bright for Radimak. This is what I've been waiting for. I fit in.
For the first time, I'm desired. I'm desired by everyone.
It's just like Sarajevo.
I'm friends with everybody.
Hard cut to Radimak listening to us laughing at him and him Googling my home address.
Oh, he's like...
Only 4 more years to go, Ferris. I'll be right over.
I'm going to need to be governor to have some level of protection against Radimak. It's already spun out of control.
I wonder if we can have him call in.
Radimak?
Radimak, if you're listening, please call us.
Radimak has something wrong with him. He really does. It's hard, I wondered about those kids who ran over that retired police officer in Vegas. Did you see that video? It's terrible.
Yeah.
And the parents are defending the kids, and the kids, the way they're talking, they think it's a game.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with the brain when you don't realize that if you run somebody over, they're going to die.
But not to defend Radimak, but like if I would have had a
but please
pipe,
go ahead. Yes.
This guy, he literally runs a red light, stops in the middle of a 4-way intersection at a freeway off ramp.
Yeah.
If I had a lead pipe, I might have,
Radimak him?
I was just cussing and middle fingering.
What makes Radimak great is the Tesla.
Yeah.
If he didn't have the Tesla, he's just another guy.
Right.
But a guy who cares about the environment, but not the people in it, is an amazing character.
He's our kind of guy.
Yeah. If he had a Prius with like a Bernie sticker on the back, or what is that, no violence thing?
Yeah,
You always
visualize
say?
world peace.
Yeah, visualize. That would make him even better. But
Right.
he used a little restraint. He's like, I want to ground it a little bit in reality. I don't want to take it too far.
Right.
And that's what makes Radimak great.
He's a folk hero.
A folk hero of kind.
So in a Ford Torino, he's just a kook.
Yes.
But in a Tesla,
He is, and now
He's a visionary.
He's a super desirable man in the LA prison system. Everybody wants him. Who doesn't want Radimak? Even the guards probably want to recruit him. He could take the pipe and put a billy club in it, and
it's the same thing. Right?
Welcome, Radimak. We've got a lot of uses for you. He's like a universal appliance.
His dance card is full.
Swiss Army knife of prisoners.
Well, let me tell you something that's the opposite of Radimak, and that's Hero Bread. Our soft, fluffy, delicious new sponsor, bread with benefits. Their line of bread baked goods offers 0 to 1 G net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high fiber, 5 to 10 grams of protein per serving. Hero empowers you to enjoy your favorite baked goods all day long. A soft breakfast burrito in the morning, a fresh, crisp BLT at lunch, and a juice patty on a full, fluffy bun to wrap your day. Couldn't ask for a better sponsor right now. You guys have both lost a lot of weight. Congratulations.
Well,
I'm always working my program during the week, and a giant box of bread arrived. Erica said, there's bread here. And I said, what?
Money?
And I opened it, and it said Hero Bread. I had no idea what the company was about. All of the bread is gone. All of the bread is gone. The kids had no idea that
they didn't know.
A fit bread.
They didn't know.
But we had taco night. They even say this in their talking points, Taco Tuesday. It was served for Taco Tuesday. We had soft tacos with it. They had these great little croissants and these biscuits. I ate it right up. You toast it, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's that guilt-free bread experience because bread, as you know, I'm sure you're not eating it, right?
I'm not eating bread right now.
That's the one thing you want to eliminate when you want to take off the weight. This is that guilt-free option, and it tastes good. High fiber, protein, low calories, no sugar, all available to you. Go to hero.co. Our friends, hero.co. I believe they're friends of the show and listeners. You can receive 10% off your first order using code SPIKE911. Here's something new, by the way, with our new people. The code for everything is going to be Spike 911. There's no more of these crazy codes.
Oh, we hired Einstein?
Yeah, things were taking like, what's the problem? They were like, we're just making all codes Spike 911.
Yeah,
wherever you go.
Why? I always wondered that. Why not?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But it's from now on, go to, in this case, hero.co. 10% off your first order using Spike 911. You can also find Hero at Amazon.com, Walmart, Kroger, and Sprouts stores nationwide. So
it was hero.co?
Hero.co. I'm guessing hero.com was taken about 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
But they have a .co?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
.co. Yeah.
You could get hero.hero. I think you can do pretty much anything.
Dude, Zuckerman.co.
How about hero.whores? Zuckerman, please.
Hooker places.
Welcome to the Spike's Car Radio family. Hero. Anyway.
You're going to have to get me a box of that.
Again, lots to cover. We might be going 2 hours tonight.
All right.
Both of us have had cake electric bike crashes.
Oh, dude.
Do you want to tell everybody about yours?
Okay, mine's very embarrassing. I blame my wife 100%. So I set off on my wonderful cake electric bike to go do an errand involving stuff I can fit in a backpack.
It's the OSA, right?
Yeah. And I come back to the house, and my wife had gone camping with Richard. And in the driveway where I parked the bike, suddenly, that wasn't there when I left, there was a tent.
Right.
There was 3 or 4 bags of Goodwill clothing, and there was just trash bags full of camping bullshit everywhere.
Yeah.
So you'd have to see my driveway to fully get it, but I'm at like a weird angle. So I stop short, I'm at an angle, I don't put my feet down, and it starts to go over onto a brick wall. And so I, in between the bike and the brick wall and a light, a metal light that lights up one of our palm trees, went right into my leg, and I have this gash in my leg.
Like a big gash?
It's a big gash, yeah.
Did the bike tip?
Oh, it fell over, yeah. It's
fell
170
over,
pounds.
right.
It's a heavy bike.
Yeah.
And, so...
Well, electric bikes are heavy, yeah.
Yeah, but this one's... The OSA's got the big battery.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it fucking hurt, and I was screaming.
Is the bike okay?
The bike's fine.
Most importantly.
My leg.
Fuck your leg.
But did you have to go to the hospital, or you
No,
just...
I just cursed my wife for good...
Yeah.
Put a
10
tourniquet
minutes.
on. Apply a tourniquet.
It's interesting.
She wasn't home, of course.
I had a bloody accident as well.
Oh, go on.
I did. I made a really. As I talk about a lot, I play a lot of tennis on the weekends, and I had played a couple hours of tennis, and thought, oh yeah, look at that big scar.
It's from my foot. Yeah, but it's way worse on my leg. Go ahead.
And I thought I would cool off with a ride up in the canyons. So we drove up to Kenter, and it was right before it closed. The mountain bike trail was empty, so James and I hopped on, and I missed. Here's the easiest way to explain these little mountain bike trails. On the right, they have nice little whoopties. On the left, they have these straight up jumps that are like this high, with a big canyon in the middle and then one right there. So you come up, you do a little kick, and you're there. They're not meant for off-road motorcycles. I took a turn. I leaned over. I took a turn too fast because the bike is a heavy bike, and maybe shouldn't be on a mountain bike trail, and hit the big one.
Yeah.
And in the air, realized I'm going to my front wheel is going to hit the other side of this, and I'm going to Superman. I'm going to go straight. So I dumped the bike between the jumps and fell sideways.
Where'd you bleed from?
My son was right behind me, and he goes, "Oh my God, Dad! Oh my Dad, are you all right?" I go, "I think so." I couldn't feel either of my wrists or my leg. And then he goes, "Oh, I'm so mad." And I go, Why are you mad? He goes, I was going to bring my GoPro, and I would have had the video of you crashing. And I'm like,
excellent.
Okay.
Good
Good
instincts.
thinking.
Good thinking, but Dad can't feel his wrists yet.
I'm bleeding out of my anus.
And, it's from lifting weights for 10 years. I was okay. I was bleeding. It's funny. It's that road rash. I had that road rash you get, and I had long pants on and a long sleeve shirt on. Still cut my body up through the shirt and through the pants without cutting the pants.
Contused.
Isn't that the most interesting thing, Zuckerman?
You were
Cuts?
flung.
Bleeding, but no cuts in the pants or the shirt.
I ruined a really good pair of jeans. That light went right through my jeans, into my leg.
Yeah. It's just a little reminder. I've never dumped bikes on the street, but I've dumped them in the desert before.
Well, I wasn't moving. I was stopped, but I just stopped short with my feet up, and then I just started falling over, put my leg down, and didn't realize how it feels like a bicycle. So you're like, and then it's 170 pounds, and you just go over with it.
Yep.
So yeah.
But we still love cake.
Oh,
I'm going to ride along. I guess they have these things where all the kids meet up in the park, and there's one in Santa Monica on Sunday, and here's what we've learned. We take these off-road motorcycles, electric motorcycles, to ride them on the street. You just put bike helmets on.
Totally.
And everybody leaves you alone. If you put the motorcycle helmet on, you'll get pulled over. So we're going to go in the bike lane. We're going to drive very slowly, and we're going to go down and hang with the wheelie crew down by Santa Monica Pier on Sunday. And I'm going to check out that scene, see what those people are all about. Nice. By all accounts, they seem like a peaceful crew of electric bike enthusiasts.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Hopefully there's a Radimak or two in there.
I'll call Cake up to make sure it's cool with them, but there's a chance they'll grab the bikes and throw them away. But, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out. It's fun. I want to be part of it. We're not going to be wheeling down Sunset and with helicopters following us. I think they go for peaceful rides.
Can your cake do a wheelie?
Calc. I've done little ones.
Oh, can.
My son is doing crazy wheelies. He looped one and he got hurt. He was the first one. So we had a series of 3 accidents.
That's good.
James wrecked his bike, which I fixed. I got the parts from this place, Lunicycle, and I put it back together. It was fun. Tricky, but fun. All of his bolts where the pieces went into the body were bent, which was impressive. So imagine trying to unscrew with an Allen wrench a bent bolt as thick as your finger.
That sounds like an IKEA nightmare, yeah.
It was awesome. Okay. No, hammers and everything. I loved it. Because it turned out it worked and we fixed it. Then you crashed and then I crashed.
Yeah, all right.
So I think we're done. I think it's safe to say.
Oh, yeah.
Spike Ferguson is dead at age 59 after a
cake-related accident.
After a cock-related accident.
After the brother of a convicted Tesla murderer decided to take his revenge out.
Family
Operating
honor.
from prison, Radimak ordered the death of Ferriston.
You put a hit out on him?
A matter of family honor.
It turns out he was signed by the Mexican mafia, who runs their entire organization from prison.
They control the electric bike.
And it was very easy to take Ferriston out. Ferriston had this to say. Hi-ya! Now he's dead. Sweet release of death.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at Zuckerman. What? Zuckerman.
I don't know where to go.
There's nowhere to go. And I don't want to get into it now, but I have the Aprilia Tuono V4 factory, 170 horsepower,
perfect,
$20,000 naked bike, which is I've taken a little drive and it's fantastic, beautiful thing.
Just what you need after a crash.
Totally.
Don't take it off road.
I am going back to the turn to go, what did I get wrong here? But
not on that. You're not.
No. Yeah, you can't take that up there. That won't work.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a great big bike. No, but I limit my time on motorcycles on the street. I'm still freaked out over how much I love the GT4 RS. I take a little issue with you calling it a baby GT3. That doesn't make sense.
Not
to
at
me.
all.
I mean, if you look at did you see that Top Gear Comparo GT3 RS, GT4 RS? They're pretty much the same deal. And then the GT4 RS is faster at times in the higher end. It's an amazing
lighter,
thing. Yeah. But what a car!
Yeah, no, it's a
I think
car.
You already knew it.
I'm driving that sucker this weekend. Where is it?
It's down at the hangar.
There you go.
It's all you. Oh, we have questions to get to, too, and I'm blathering on. But people were asking about, we have to get to a Plan Z question right there. I think the question was, and we'll answer it. We'll answer it later on. But how to manage Plan Z. But yeah, go drive that car. It's so perfect.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're getting an ST allocation, Zuckerman.
What?
I heard some good news.
What?
Porsche Clearwater.
Ooh.
You can put in, Lieberman. We're going to need your money. We're out of money.
I had some money and it's all gone. So
Get it back.
Yeah.
You have time.
See what I can do.
If this comes through. But
see what I can do.
The Porsche Clearwater guys and the Porsche company have gotten together and they
buy lots of cars from them, just not STs.
I won't say who I've sent down there, but I've sent most of Hollywood down there, and they're buying cars. We just sold another one today. Because, people want to be with someone who they don't feel like they're getting ripped off.
Who also give them a car. That's the other thing. It's like you can't. Like I was trying to help. It's not a Porsche, but I was trying to help a friend get the Ferrari V12. The Pure Sangue, the V12 SUV. And I reached out to a bunch of people I know at Ferrari dealers. And this guy, by the way, owns 2 Ferraris. And the one that came back with, like, we can get him one we'll get him one in 3 years. But in the meantime, he has to buy a used V12 first, even though he already owns 2 Ferraris.
Yeah, it's the same old story. And you just, I stopped dreaming of those cars. I love them. I'm a big fan of the Ferrari brand, but I just stopped dreaming about them anymore. I'm not interested.
I mean, the 296 is probably the best car I've driven in 5 years.
It's incredible.
It's just perfect. But, where are they? You can't get them.
That kind of behavior is eternal.
You've got to court the new buyers. You got to be nice to people. These guys, somebody sent this to me too. AMZ Racing, and it's hard to understand what this is. But in Europe, there's a competition called Formula Student. And it's an educational engineering competition.
Oh, okay.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary. Apparently these guys, this team, these kids, maybe not kids, adults, engineers, built a race car that did 0 to 100
kilometers an hour. Yeah.
In under a second.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
0.956.
Yeah, they beat the McMurdy Sparrow or whatever that.
It did.
Yeah.
Let me play everybody, so you can hear how quick this is.
0.9.
This is this. Listen. That's it. It's just like it's over.
Yeah.
3.8 Gs you're pulling.
That's ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous amount, right?
I don't know what tires can do. I mean, it's like, I guess drag, like slicks can do that.
Well, what did they have on it?
I didn't get the details. There's just these students built an lightweight, ultra powerful electric car that defies physics and did that. Yeah.
Here's their statement. We just received confirmation that our attempt to break the world record in acceleration for an EV has been accepted by Guinness. Why does anybody care about the Guinness book anymore? People don't even read books. But you cared. It's cooler that you guys just did this. Who cares about Guinness? This is not only a world record, but also the first time an electric vehicle has reached the sub 1 second milestone. Crazy, right?
I mean, that's like top fuel dragster shit. That 0.9 second. I mean, it's 0.9. Remember, it's not even 60. It's 62 miles an hour. 100 kilometers an hour is a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Or further, whatever it is. It's a higher speed. So, yeah, no, it's insane. And you've seen that videos of that McMurdy thing, right? That EV, which is insane.
Yes.
It smokes like LaFerraris like they're not even moving.
Right.
And this is quicker still.
Wow.
So, yeah.
But that's where we're headed. with a phone in our hand.
In front of your face.
In front of your face.
Out from the G's. You're completely unconscious.
I mean, 3.8.
0 to unconscious.
3.8 G's is severe. I mean, that's very severe.
You could easily pass out.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Especially an older gentleman.
Taking a little heart medication, taking not so healthy.
Yeah, taking a couple
dehydrated,
couple Cialises.
Couple of Cialises. Has only had 2 sips of coffee in 3 days.
Speaking of our older gentleman, our friend with the yacht in Nantucket, Scott Burke, Dr. Scott Burke.
Dr. Burke.
Dr. Burke is now on the receiving end of a second search warrant that details the raid of his party yacht, the Jess Khan. What kind of name is that?
Jess Khan.
In Nantucket Harbor. But Zuckerman, here are some details. Get off your phone. Come on. I want to tell you about this. You'll be excited about this. This is your kind of man.
Doing Wordle.
You want to know what untreated ADHD is like? You just heard it. I'm doing Wordle. Is that a euphemism? It is not. 12-page document. Okay. This is the second search warrant, Zuckerman. The yacht is from So this guy who dropped a dime was in Texas, all right? See if you can follow this. The girl on board who was in some sort of crisis called her friend in Texas. He drops the dime. There were 2 FedEx packages found on the boat that were shipped to Nantucket overnight from Miami. Pray tell, what do you think was in there?
There once was a man from Nantucket whose Coke was so strong.
Not Hero Bread. Hero Coke. Hero Ketamine. They're going to drop us right now. That's the moment it just happened.
That's all right. They had a good run.
This is my first question for you, Zuckerman, and maybe it's naive. Does FedEx, it seems like for 20 years, FedEx has been moving drugs for people, and no one checks on them. Is that the case?
How can you check?
FedEx, DHL, UPS, you name it. They do have certain kind of investigative strategies or strategies to help them limit the amount of illicit goods that they're shipping. But is it 1/1,000,000th of 1%? They don't have time to X-ray. They don't have dogs. They're not in law enforcement. You could really get away with using FedEx or any of these other.
Yeah, there's no cops there. It's not like the post office or a plane or a TSA,
at this
right?
point, the post office has no business. They'd probably be happy to ship your drugs for money.
But seriously, I think there's a lot of this going on, right? And it's just guys behind counters, and then they deliver it.
I mean, FedEx has to be one of the largest drug rings in operation. I mean, everything's through the mail.
That is your opinion.
That's my opinion. Yes.
And my opinion as well. These are just opinions, FedEx.
Yeah.
But seriously,
great company, great.
What do you do to screen for drugs? I would really like to know that, because obviously this guy loaded up. It sounds like he loaded up his packages.
FedEx has a couple of dogs at their regional centers, and they hope every so often something gets sniffed.
Why would you, Zuckerman? You got a yacht. Well, maybe the yacht was already moored in Nantucket.
Yeah, that's
But
why.
if you're gonna drive the thing up, why are you sending?
Okay, so the yacht probably isn't his. He probably rented it. I don't think he owns it. He probably rented it, and then he needed to get his gear there. And who wants to fly on a plane with their gear? Have someone else have a mule.
And also, I used to know guys that move yachts around for a living. They would have done all the cocaine. That's the real problem. They would have. These guys, they were partying.
So I guess this girl is on a FaceTime with this guy in Texas, and she's saying, "You got to get me off here," or something. And then the guy could see Scott Burke just step over her, and then the call ended.
Dying Dr. Burke lays her out.
And now Burke's lawyer has said he's a bitter ex-boyfriend who is upset she wouldn't come to see him, and I wouldn't put much stock in anything he has to say. His accounts are inconsistent.
Okay, the guy in Texas, who cares if his accounts are or aren't inconsistent?
Yes.
Meanwhile, the boat had drugs. That's not disputed.
Well, he, I guess, put up a little bit of a fight and said the drugs weren't his, but the police found a debit bank card with the name Scott A. Burke on it, with rough edges and pink powder residue consistent with the same pink powder confirmed to be ketamine.
Awesome.
If I could do a little PSA, try and order your drugs off the dark web so they're less traceable.
And don't use your ATM card.
Well, yeah.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Use a stolen ATM card off the dark web.
And I'm going to say something. It wasn't my drugs. I tried that with Marilyn Zuckerman in 1980 when she found my weed. Those weren't my joints. It really didn't work well then.
Here's, listen, Zuckerman. It was also revealed, this guy's Walter White, it was revealed the former physician is suffering from terminal cancer.
Go, baby, go.
To have this man potentially spend the rest of his life, his lawyer is saying, in jail would be very, very tragic. And it would. But now it all makes sense, right?
Right.
He's got terminal cancer. He's Walter Whiting. He wants to have a good run. Hopefully he doesn't hurt anybody while he's doing it. He wants to just enjoy the last few days of his life and embarrass his family. But at least now you kind of understand why he's a degenerate.
And he'll be remembered. He's finally done something that's going to go past his ultimate demise. He's accomplished something.
Good doctor. Don't hurt any innocent people.
His lawyer's just going to continue the hearing a few times, and then it's solved. The problem solves itself naturally.
Yes, it does.
Leave him and laughs evilly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you know what? Maybe we can rent that boat. We can take it out for a weekend and see if anything was left hidden behind any boards.
Maybe we can get it to Vegas.
Yeah.
They've probably got a fake harbor somewhere.
All right, there's one more story I got to run by Zuckerman before we do listener questions.
We got cars to talk.
Farting dog on Singapore Airlines. A New Zealand couple is seeking a refund from Singapore Airlines after being stuck next to a stinky, oversized dog on a long-haul flight. Gill and Warren Press of Wellington, New Zealand, were flying from Paris to Singapore. They had booked premium economy seats for the 13-hour flight, but had to share their row with a traveler who brought a support dog to help with the anxiety. Partway through the flight, the couple reported hearing strange noises that they initially thought
didn't know what it was.
They initially thought was one of their phones, but turned out to be the dog snoring. They complained to the flight attendant, but were told the only available seats were at the very back of economy. The couple initially stayed, but their experience worsened when the dog reportedly began farting and drooling and got goo on their legs. And now they're seeking full...
Gill and Warren seem to be overplaying their hand.
Like, they're from Wellington, so if it was a sheep, they would have been right at home,
Yeah.
Like it would have been...
Here's what I don't understand about this, because they eventually relocated, and the airline wanted to give them $236 in travel vouchers. You know what I think this infraction is worth? Yes. What is it? $236. This is definitely $236.
I'm going to start carrying around vouchers to give people.
I would have said 178, but the goo on the leg is worth an extra $46 and change.
Useless vouchers.
Who's arriving at these numbers?
There's a guy with an MBA who came up with that number by running a formula, too.
I am going to get a pocket full of useless vouchers to hand. Anytime I have someone, here's some vouchers for nothing.
That's good for my governor platform.
Yes.
Vouchers.
For nothing.
Everybody will get vouchers. You'll each get like 10 free vouchers.
For what?
For nothing. But if you do something wrong, you just go, here's a voucher for $236. For what? Nothing.
Nothing.
That doesn't satisfy you. Have another one.
You know how much you hated my airline? I do. Want to fly it again for $236 less than you paid before?
That's right.
I don't, actually.
That's
don't.
like a quarter of a ticket, $236.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's not good. What car do you want to talk about before?
A Lotus.
All right. Well, hold on. Let me talk about AG1 first.
Oh, yeah.
I've been feeling very sluggish lately and very stressed, and my immune system has been feeling very unsupported. But AG1 is here and fixed the whole deal. That's because AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut organ optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. Look, let me tell you this. They got a bunch of talking points. I'm going to give you the only one that matters. Erica Firsten finally took note of my AG1 and said, what is this? I explained what it was to her, put a powder in water every day, and it's that. She goes, let me look at that.
Uh-oh.
And I knew that I would not be giving her testimonial. Well, guess what? She absolutely loves this company. She goes, they had a glass shaker with a bamboo top and a steel straw. She goes, okay. No real straws. I like the bamboo.
They got the optics
She
right.
looked at all the ingredients, the vitamins, and saw, not just prebiotics and probiotics. She saw organic and whatever farmed and all of the words she looks for. And she said, get me some. So did our friend Bill from the Malibu Kitchen. AG1 sent them both a case of this stuff. They're in love with AG1, and you can be in love with AG1 too. So there you go. That is a real testimonial.
Stuff.
I'm only bringing you the good stuff, guys. Hero Bread and AG1, the supplement I trust to provide the support for my body.
Burke's formula.
What's that?
I want some Burke's formula sent in the
By the
mail.
way, you guys, if you want any of this stuff, you just got to say they're happy to send it to you.
I'll try some.
You're in. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get 1 free-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs, which I traveled with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/what?
Spike 911.
That's right. That's drinkag1.com/spike911. Check it out. We love you, AG1. Good friends of the show. All right. You've got a Lotus that I was supposed to have.
Yeah. The Emira.
I'm dying to drive their stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. It's I've drove it before. I drove in Hethel, which is where their factory is, which is strange little town. It's filled with a lot of people that say things like, "I've been to London once," but it's cool. It's in the age of easy speed, of students going to 60 miles an hour in 0.9 seconds, it's kind of refreshing to have to work for it. Like 100 miles an hour doesn't happen accidentally. You got to intentionally get the car up to that speed.
Give
you know
me
what I
some
mean?
basic stats of the car.
Okay, 400 horsepower.
Mid-engined?
Mid-engine. It's a Toyota Camry V6 with
that's right.
with Lotus cams and a supercharger. 6-speed manual. 400 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. Probably weighs 3,200 pounds.
Price?
Very light. Yeah, everything's gone up, but this is the edition one, probably 6 figures right under there.
Low 6 figures? Like, are we talking 100?
No, it's probably like a $90,000 car with the launch edition has or first edition has every single option. So I don't have the Monroney, but I'm assuming it's like $100,000. But there are cheaper ones. This is the Sport model, which is the sportiest. It has stiffer suspension and it's on Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. I would say that it's a little over-tired, meaning that these are the same tires they put on like a GT3, GT4 RS. So like it doesn't have enough power to break it loose, doesn't have enough torque. So it's just stuck. It would be a great track car. I would like a little more rotation, a little bit more play. So the Goodyear Eagle F1s that come on the touring model would probably be the way to go. And I drove them both when I was in Hethel. There's almost no difference. It's like 5% stiffer in the Sport. It's not noticeable. So, but it's just a lot of fun. Like, the powertrain is old school at this point. There's a AMG engine version. It's a 4-cylinder, makes more power. It's lighter, dual clutch transmission. I'd be very curious to drive that. I'm really looking forward to that. More of, it's just the kind of thing where, I just can't even drive a manual anymore. Let's face it. It's just,
why?
I barely do it. I'm slow at it now. I'm used to like changing gears on the steering wheel. And
I do like that too. I mean, I told you guys I was in traffic, I think on the way to see you last week when we were doing the show with Titus.
Yeah.
Big show, by the way. It was really fun.
Oh,
Titus is a great guy.
He's awesome.
He'll have to come back when we can promote his stuff. Maybe even tonight. I think we're getting close to a deal. But
I've heard.
I was in traffic in the GT4 RS, and it was fine. I had the windows down in the 405.
Yeah.
And it was quiet. I don't know why. I understand why they say that car is loud at speed, but it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And here's what I was remembering, Zuckerman. I like wings.
Yeah.
I missed a wing. I missed a sports seat. I really liked the setup of that car, and I missed that whole feeling. And I think the touring was 2 tourings in a row. It just threw me off. You need something. You need wings.
I would, just back to the Lotus for a second. It's got like nice leather seats. Finally, Lotus. They're kind of too squishy. Like it generates so much G-force laterally when you're turning that you kind of slide off the seat and you're kind of on the door and then you get flung back. Like I'd like a carbon bucket in a car like that. Just because of the grip is, the little built-in meter was saying like 1.3 Gs. Like that's pretty good for a street car.
And they've given you a little more room for your stuff.
Yeah, they got rid of the back seat, so there's no more seat. So that
you can put your phone down for once.
Yeah, well, it actually has a phone slot.
Wow.
It's got Apple CarPlay.
There you go.
Screen, it's got good
these guys.
AC.
Lotus is now becoming a player.
Yeah,
they're a player all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's a great car. It's a great car.
And if you're you don't want to be like everybody and have a 911, if you have that money,
or a Cayman, it's a Cayman like GT4 competitor.
Yeah.
And it's just it vibrates more. You work a little harder. It's got hydraulic steering, so the steering's a little creamier. It's just a old school sports car in the age of like everything's a supercar now. This is a actual, you got to drive hard, you're going to sweat sports car. And, it's perfectly fine in traffic. So it's good. It's like the GT4 RS, because remember I drove it to your house.
Yeah.
And I was dreading that because I had it up in on a racetrack and I had it up in Angeles Crest previously before I came to your house. And I was deaf from it because, above 7,000 RPM to 9,000, it's deafening. I never went over 4,000 sitting in traffic on the way to Brentwood on the 405, and you're right, it's totally pleasant. There's
totally
no
pleasant,
problem.
right?
Yeah, no problem.
You're driving something special, and
Yeah.
you're enjoying yourself. So listen to the radio.
Do you think this Lotus advances it enough for Lotus to stay relevant, for there still to be...
their other cars do right now.
Yeah.
They've these other things they got. The stuff they had up at
Wales, I understand. But this is supposed to be...
So, here's why, right? So what was really the knock on Lotus? They always drove great. That was the problem. It's just they were just made really poorly. and the interiors were kind of crap. They fixed the interior. I went to the factory and like I'm walking around and I'm like, oh, that machine. I saw that machine at the Porsche factory and I saw that machine at the Ferrari factory. And oh, look, here's a guy from, Aston Martin who like, he's been assembling cars in the modern way for a long time. They've brought in like real experts. They have money. They never had money before. They got a ton of Chinese cash. They got, Geely, I think, purchased them, or BYD. Geely was Geely. They bought Volvo also. And they were able to construct a modern assembly line. So they're actually like well made. None of the panels are mismatched. The paint is actually good. It's in this gorgeous dark green called dark verdant. And Spike is.
Come on.
Are you doing Wordle, Spike?
Sorry, I saw that, Spike.
Spike's doing some Wordle over there.
I'm getting the questions ready.
And it's like it's a quality product. So I think it does. It gets them where they need to be. Now, look, it's the last gasoline-powered thing they'll ever do. They've said that. And it'll be interesting if they can make a lightweight electric car. I don't know if it's possible. It probably is. But, I was just really charmed driving the thing. And I was just, when you drive a car and you have, like, big thoughts about driving.
Right.
You're not focusing on the little stupid things in the car, like, oh, this is annoying me. I was just like, I love driving. I love the open road. Like,
right. And it had stupid little problems that it used to distract you, their cars.
Yeah.
Why is the radio like that? Why can't I put my phone anywhere? Why can't I get out of this thing?
Yeah, and it's just great. And it starts. The other thing it does that's great is if you have the transmission in neutral, you can start it without depressing the clutch, which I love. That's like an old school. I love that. Yeah. Porsches can do that sometimes.
So they emerge as well from hospice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're coming. Watch out.
Yeah.
They're also good friends of our show here.
Yeah, we did. They're good dudes, for sure.
I hear their TikTok, if it's their real TikTok, is hilarious.
I haven't seen it.
My kids started asking about Lotus. And I'm like, why are you asking? I go, have you seen their TikTok? And it's just all insanity. It's nothing to do with cars. But it's got a Lotus.
Not them.
It says Lotus and it's got a blue check.
Maybe.
I said it's got to be them. I think if they're smart, they were putting viral content up there, and it made all the kids crazy, and now they're all Lotus fans.
Well, speaking of that, so I'm picking Richard up from school in it today, and this little girl was like, Richard, your dad has a Lamborghini? And I'm like,
oh, they love
I'm like, no, it's a Lotus. And she goes, a Lotus Lamborghini or a Lamborghini Lotus? And I go, yeah, because it looks like a real nice thing, It's cool. It's
there
good,
you go.
Good design, yeah. I'm into it.
All right, here's some questions. We're going to go questions. First, our friend Dear Zuckerman, the master graphics maker, the man behind the stickers. Apparently, there was a fight at this morning's drive, the Good Vibes Breakfast Club in Angeles Crest. Johnny, I know you're lighting your cigar, but what happened?
Yes.
So first of all, this is a drive in Angeles Crest to Newman's Ranch. What is it called?
Used to be to Newcomb. So
Newcomb.
Angeles Crest is still closed past the Wilson Observatory. Okay. So now we go to Site B.
And it's cool cars, meet up, everybody just hang.
Friendly people.
Yeah,
nice
vibes.
people. Good
nice
vibes.
people. There have been deaths in the past.
There have been some. So that was what the fight was about. There's a gentleman. He doesn't need to be named.
He does.
He's a. So what happened was Does
he have a big beard? Does he drive over the 6th Street Bridge?
He does have. No, not him. No. He does have a beard, but no, not him.
Okay.
If you can picture like.
Does he run a deli, sell cookies in Malibu?
If Magnus did nothing but eat cheeseburgers for a few months,
I see.
it might be.
Magnus is a sweetheart. He would never fight anyone.
No, but so this British gentleman, I think he was British, maybe Australian, approached this guy as he was getting in his car and was just like, "You're a fucking maniac. I've never seen anyone drive this bad. You're screaming. And I was like, oh, shit. Guy comes over to me, and he's like, can you believe this? And I'm like, look, you drive like a dildo. You've always driven like a dildo. You're not going to change. And he goes, I drive like a dick, not a dildo. And I'm like, same thing. And then the guy...
He really defended himself with these words? Seriously?
He said, I drive like a dick. So then...
Not a dildo.
What a schmuck.
So, well, then the British guy came over. Then the British guy came over and said, is the car community going to accept this? And I'm like...
Oh, boy.
And I'm like...
Car court. Zuckerman, this is a perfect job for you.
I can't deal with English people.
Yes, just get to
do the accent. Are we going to accept this?
Is the car community going to accept it, Swiggins? They're all speeding. They're all racing. They're all guilty. Every one of them should have been arrested up there this morning. But you're going to draw a line there. You're all in trouble.
Yeah. So then,
just get to the end of it. I'm already bored
I said
with
to
the story.
guy, yeah, exactly. I said to the guy, "What? You want to give him a ticket? What are you going to do?" And then I was like, "Come on!" And they were screaming at each other.
They didn't punch each other.
It got close. I got in the middle, and I was like, "Guys, good vibes. Come on!" And then they walked away, and they were both still
bad vibes. Driving.
Bad vibes.
Calling Radimak.
Radimak would have solved it.
Yeah, little Radimak would have fixed that just right.
It was no big deal.
By the way, that's another great sticker, is a Radimak sticker with a raised hand and a baton.
and a pipe.
And an angry face. I mean, that's pretty good. Like, I wouldn't mess with anybody who had that sticker on their car.
Tesla?
I'd go, you can keep going. My mistake. Didn't mean to cut you off, sir, ma'am, whoever you are.
Idea. A lead pipe for a Tesla. That's
Yes. Lots of cigar fans who were blaming us for their eventual demise, and you were right to do that. Lots of Rennsport excitement. Everybody's excited about Rennsport. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time.
You know what I'm doing?
No.
I'm driving 356 number 1.
Oh, my God.
Really?
That's great.
Loaded with synthetic fuel.
Oh, that's cool.
On the track. Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's fun.
Yeah.
See, that's a reason to go up.
I'm excited.
They've given you a reason to go up there and
excited.
have a good time.
Yeah.
How will they just announce that to everyone and say, and inside, synthetic fuel.
We've been saving it since the war.
Well, 356 number 1 is war surplus.
We apologize for the Jew driving it, but
we must balance.
Inside is synthetic fuel.
This is the one thing Dr. Porsche didn't want.
But Seinfeld opened that door and no one can close it.
Wow.
They all rushed in.
They all rushed in, and it's too late.
And now Zuckerman's our biggest customer.
There's nothing we can do.
Who is Zuckerman?
So distract yourselves with the synthetic fuels.
Oh, boy. Nazis, how far are we into the program?
This is the appropriate Nazi time. The 1 hour mark is when we usually hit it. But that's exciting. We're trying to figure out if our friend from New York, if he's going to go up and what's going on with him. And by the way, he's coming back on the show. I know a lot of folks are asking about it. He's sold some cars, selling some cars. He's in love with his GT3 RS wants to come on and just review that car.
Oh.
He's got a lot to talk about. He was going to call in tonight, but he's doing stand-up somewhere, I think. But he had me. I had to go. Look, I got to go, man. You just did an hour on the GT3 RS. He loves it that much, and I guess Chris Harris loves it. And
everyone seems to love it. I haven't driven it yet.
See, this is going to be a problem for us, Zuckerman. We're not the type of men who can keep all of these cars, these STs and GT3s. Our plan is to kind of roll through them, but I had not anticipated how great the GT4 RS is. I know the GT3 RS is going to be another level above, and then the ST.
Oh, so we suffer.
But the financial consequences of that?
I'm already so far in the hole, it doesn't matter. I'm never climbing out of this hole.
Everybody listening knows the car hole. We're all in car holes. All of us.
Yes.
Car holes!
I'm so deep I couldn't drive out. It doesn't matter how many cars.
I can tell you I've been in a car hole since the early 90s, and I'm always happy because of it. If you buy right, it doesn't matter. Lose all your money. And by the way, cars have saved my life many times. Many times where I'm like, oh my God, I need a few $100,000 right now. And I sell a car and I'm like, look at that thing. I bought it for this and now I'm selling it for that.
And there you go.
Cars.
And so if you're stuck with a GT4 RS, that ain't a bad thing.
No, it's fine.
No, I'm just saying,
I
can tell right now I want to keep everything. They're all amazing. I really did think the GT4 RS would not be a thing.
I thought it was a 2-drive car, and I was wrong.
I'm in love with it, and as I said to you and Jerry on our text thread, it's the smallness. You can't buy smallness and speed like this anymore, and the smallness is so addicting.
That's that Lotus.
Yes.
Well, if the Lotus is 3,200, that's right at GT4 RS weight.
The GT4 RS is not a limited car, though, is it?
That's a good question. I think it's regular production, but it's not a big production. It's limited
by the fact that they can't keep making them, right?
Yeah. Eventually they run out.
Well, Andy Pruninger Cheers, man. Congratulations. That is an unbelievable car.
What are you guys going to do with this ST, though? That's the one that I'm like...
Zuckerman and I have already been talking. I have more news I can share with you after the show, Zuckerman. But I think you'll be very happy. We can't get that far ahead right now. But it is almost spec'd. We're working with Mike and Clearwater and Porsche. And look, I think all three of these cars, I'm very proud of all three of these cars. All three. The GT4 RS, what's coming with the GT3 RS, and then what's coming with the ST. I feel they're all different, and they all have different personalities in their specs, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
And I also think if you guys want to revisit a regular GT3 with a manual, I think you'd be so... I still, when I close my eyes and think about, like, just terrific vehicles, that's top 2. The new GT3 is just a monster. Just a monster.
Great car.
Yeah. Just
they
awesome.
Continue to make great cars.
Christian Godby is getting married today. Congratulations. What is Zuckerman's favorite wedding-related case?
Oh. Of course. Got one. Of course. These people want to have this fabulous wedding, and they want to have these helicopters come over the wedding at the right time to drop to smoke and pigeons or doves or whatever are supposed to come, and the helicopter guy comes roaring in. He comes in low. There's so much rotor wash. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, yeah.
He blows half of the old folks out of their seats. There's broken hips. There's hairdos that are blown out. Everything's knocked over.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was a wedding.
How much?
That wasn't my case. But that was the case out there.
Any good gender reveal?
It sounds a little like it.
Everybody was revealed when the rotors tore their gowns off.
Well, hopefully your wedding went
that's
smoother.
A quality
Christian?
question. That's a question right there.
Christian, congratulations to you and your bride. It's fantastic. Gary Cooper is saying, Gary Cooper. Remember I used to live in Gary Cooper's house. I love the Lincoln Lawyer series, you guys. Thank you. They want to know the story in the classic Lincoln drop top. We've discussed it. It's in this prop cars company, and I have it in the new Unfrosted movie and learned about it when it was on set. But you have that new Volkswagen that has... It's a little black Volkswagen, and the license plate says attorney, right?
Attorney to New York.
And it's just like Lincoln Lawyer. He goes, I got to change that. I go, no. This is the Zuckerman Lincoln Lawyer in real life. You've got a VW Beetle from what year?
1966.
Black with a red interior, and the license plate says attorney. It's awesome, Zuckerman.
Now,
it's perfect.
How'd you find this?
Tori Alonso, VW guy.
The guy with the Carmangia, who's got you the Carmangia.
No, the guy who was selling the Ford versus Ferrari prop cars.
Got it.
Yeah, so he got his hands on this car for somebody who had bought it, and he was going to bring it back to life because it had been basically off the road for 15 years or so when the original owner passed away. The guy who had purchased it needed to get out of it. Somehow Tori got it to my attention, and I learned about the car, I learned about the history, I learned about its originality, and the very attractive price point, and I said, I'm in. And this car is fantastic. It's called a Pigalle Edition. It's got the red interior, and it was named after the Place Pigalle in Paris, where the red light district is.
Perfect.
Hookers again.
More hookers.
And the German marketing department thought that was great. After a year, they thought it wasn't so great.
Right.
And they got rid of that name. And it's the 1 year with this 1300 engine that puts out 50 horsepower, which is pretty good for VWs.
20% more than normal. Yeah,
and it's got some really good gearing. It's got low gearing, so it's a peppy little creature.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is this your first bug?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Zuckerman and I both own Volkswagen Beetles right now.
Wow.
I have the police Beetle.
I love yours. Yours is like a 70-something, right?
Mine's a 79.
Wow.
Würzburg, Germany. But I think I'm gonna let it go.
Oh, yeah?
The kids are older now, and we have other things being offered to us, Zuckerman and I, and we might be making some moves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I like
we
this.
might.
Okay.
We might.
Okay.
You might look for that car and bring a trailer. I might give it to Gooding to take up to Scottsdale.
Oh, that'd be smart.
Right.
That's an absolute win at Scottsdale.
Well, it was in Comedians and Cars Getting Coffee with Bill Maher as the guest. It was on Car Matchmaker, my
show. Recently canceled Bill Maher. Go ahead.
He's going on the air. He's doing all right.
No,
he just delayed his show.
The scab part.
Yeah, no, he didn't do it. He made the right decision. It was on my show, Car Matchmaker. It was then on Jay's show on CNBC.
Provenance.
Yeah, it's been on some pretty big TV shows.
All right.
And we used to use it to drive to birthday parties, and you get on the speaker and yell at people. And I drove it to Bill's. Had a great time with it.
That was Richard's first bug. He still talks about it. He was very into it.
I think I've had that car 10 years. Can you believe that already? And that's usually, if I've had something for 10 years, it usually goes. But I have to talk to Mr. Seinfeld about that. He has right of first refusal on it, and then if not, it's going out to the world. I think Zuckerman. I don't know.
I can't imagine he's going to want to acquire this. In return.
Doesn't he also have Beetles?
Yeah,
he's got many.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, if you stand around long enough, you'll buy one of his Beetles.
He's
got some beautiful ones.
Actually,
and this is why I would always say, if you can't afford a 356, you want a Volkswagen Beetle, because you look at this Zuckerman car, the price point is unbelievable for what you're getting. A real vintage car experience, and feel and vibe. The steering wheel, the seats.
I'll be very candid. I'm going to tell anybody listening, this car is entirely original. The paint is original. The interior is original. The engine, Tori put it together perfectly. I'm in this car, which is a top shelf example of a survivor car, and I'm in just around 40.
Wow, really? So it's like a Camry.
And that's even high. Like if you went to the Samba tonight, the Samba.com, and looked for Volkswagens, you're going to find quality cars for
They don't have to be this.
Teens and 20s.
Yeah, they don't have to be this.
Can I ask you, though, because you know you have all this experience with 356s, like, is there any familiar?
Absolutely.
Do you feel the same?
We're back to right when, with these cars, when Homo sapien and Homo neanderthal is split as branches of primate, and so they're still very closely related. This Beetle really reminds me in many ways of my 51 split window, although it is incredibly well put together. The build quality of this car is insane.
Right.
For what was it, $1,800 at that price point? How did they do it?
Yeah.
How did they do
watch.
It? Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you and Zuckerman handle selling a car if one wants to sell it and the other one does not want to sell it? Jordan Kutzer is asking. Usually, if somebody wants to sell it, we sell it.
That's just the way it is. Nobody's forcing anyone. You're going to stay in this marriage whether you like it or not.
No, Zuckerman will call. You've called before and said, "Hey, let's get rid of this." And I go, "All right, sure, why not? Let's get rid of it."
What about the first GT2 RS?
That was Moise.
Oh, right.
That's Moise.
Right. But you regretted getting rid of that.
Well, but you have to honor that agreement. He was.
I'm not talking about honoring or not. I'm just saying you have expressed regret about that particular.
Oh yeah,
car.
but I don't really care.
Okay.
I mean, I've let so many cars go. I could.
Nobody
care less.
wants to get involved in buying the other guy out. It's a pain in the ass.
Plus, we've been doing this for so long at this point that you see the cycle. Like, I remember the first time I sold something maybe in the 90s or early 2000s, and it was so painful. And now I look back and go, look at all the stuff I've owned and driven since then.
There's always something great.
And then, and then this new 4RS, it's a whole new adventure happens.
But there's not, I'm just asking devil's advocate, there's not one that you're like, should have kept that one.
Well, if you really start to think in that frame of mind, there's just always a car that you can say, I wish I kept the 911R, or I wish I kept the GT4 RS. I mean, the 4.0. The 4.0.
Oh.
I mean, there's that, but that's only if you force me into that mental state.
Yeah,
otherwise,
I don't
I'm
feel
fine
like
with it.
Just checking.
And if
I'm really into the groove of experiences.
Okay.
I want to have experiences in new things before I leave the planet. I also believe in curation, like making sure you're getting rid of stuff that you're not driving, that you're not using, because that can wear you down.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more fun than a new great car that you didn't know you were going to love. There's nothing. This new thing that you find, like you're having with this Volkswagen right now. Look at that. You got a new thing. You didn't know it existed. At this point, and you're collecting, you've got something great. Isn't that cool? And that's what you deprive yourself of. Are any of you guys going to the Audrain Concours? We love that event. It's just on the other side of the world.
It's also the same weekend as Rennsport, sadly.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah. But we're big fans of Donald Osborne and the event.
Next year, 100% going.
Yeah. I didn't go. I was invited to be a judge, and I think it was during the pandemic, and it just didn't work out. But I would definitely go.
Yeah, they had a rough start. They started during the pandemic.
Yeah. But we love that event. We love Donald. He's a friend of the show. Here's people asking about Jerry's cars. Here's all I will comment on. I'm going to let Jerry talk about it himself, but Jerry has cars behind cars. Anything you might see sold, there's 2 or 3 more just like it and better.
Like epidermis. There's 7 layers of epidermis.
And by the way, maybe I'm misspeaking. I wouldn't say better. I would also say he's not driving it. And when you get up into the Leno categories of cars or, into a giant collection, you want to drive the things that you like to drive regardless of value. You just want to drive what you want to drive. And I was telling Zuckerman that, I'm not even sure if I had the money that I would jump into a Porsche 550. I've driven them. They're special, but after you get out of it, I don't crave driving it every weekend because I'm mostly a street driver. I'm not a racer.
I just like to look at them. God,
they're spectacular to look at, but that won't do it.
And that's and you start to get to it. And Jerry pointed out quite rightly that there's cars you like to have and cars you like to drive, and cars just liking to have them is not really enough after a while.
And to his credit, he wants somebody else to enjoy it, and somebody will find those cars and have a great experience.
What pedigree? And his stuff is sorted.
A couple of stuff went under our noses, and we were like, God, if we rob a bank. That is a good example. That's painful. I know, but more stuff will flow through. Everybody wants to know if Rufus is okay after eating the small tree and all the plants and the wires.
I'm gonna pass the mic to Rufus. Hang on.
Rufus is fine. A little inverted sneeze, sleeping soundly. A welcome addition to the Spike's Car Radio crew. Hello from Bavaria, says Lewis. If you had to buy American muscle cars, which we've all bought before, what would it be?
Wow.
I just drove, it's one of the last call edition Challengers. It was called the Shakedown.
Uh-huh.
And, it was the big Hemi, it was 485 horsepower, and, mentally handicapped as far as modern cars go, but god damn was it charming. It just does all that stuff. You floor it and it shakes the right way, and it's just big and comfy and obnoxious. And I think that's the one I would get. Or the Cadillac, the Blackwing.
I don't know. Would a 60s C2 Corvette qualify as a muscle car?
Yeah, they can't turn.
Yeah.
I'm Mustang guy.
Oh, yeah?
60s Mustangs, early 70s Mustangs. Something big and goofy, but a Mustang. I like Ford Mustangs. That's what I'd be doing.
I just had that Cadillac again, the CT5V Blackwing, and god damn, that's just a good product, man. That's just something else.
Picture yourself as a young man, JSW cars. I can't anymore. It doesn't work. But if I were, what do I do with no major commitments? So this is a guy in his 20s, no major commitments. Good car matchmaker question. Do you save up and spend on a dream car that you can afford, or do you choose to own lots of cheaper but interesting cars before settling down? I'll go first. Neither. What I would do is I would look for something cool in my budget. And that, for me, was a Cougar XR7 convertible that had no canvas on the top when I first moved to L.A. that I bought for $2,800. And I was happy. It was cool. I knew it wasn't all that collectible at the time, but it had style, and it was a good drive, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And though I did start saving for the Boxster, because they had announced that car, and that was going to be my first new car, and against all reasonable
that little Cougar was like your version of Dr. Burke's yacht.
I had so many memorable
drives.
Lots
of
packages and girls trying to get out.
I did have a girl in it that yelled at a police officer and almost got me. Oh, the exhibitionist speed ticket that I got. I was like, why are you yelling at him? Will you stop?
Great, yeah.
I spun the wheels at a stoplight or green light, and she decided to yell at the police.
What'd she say to the cop?
I don't want to. It's impolite, but lots of F-bombs. She had a few white wines. Good girl, though.
I had a great girl.
Dr. Burke's yacht right there.
I had a great girl in a GT500.
He was defending her man.
I was just I had a great girl in a GT500 where I did the same thing, little burnout on a first date.
Yeah.
Pulled me over, and he's like, what do you see in this guy?
Now, in my own defense, I didn't intend to do it. If you know anything about that car, you hit it the wrong way. It was a little wet out, and it went. And I went, oh, geez.
No posse, no.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that.
She was like, when she was from Israel, she wasn't into cars, and I was like, well, here's what's cool about this car. It does this, and then the cop was right there. And
Ted Mundo wants to know what your detailer said when he saw the plant that Rufus the dog ate.
That's funny because my detailer, he kind of makes use of my space as it's his own. And so I came and there was a vessel in the outer parking lot that I didn't know about, a smaller kind of boat you could tow and go fishing on. And it's the detailers, but it's there. It's a mystery to me. So when Rufus ate the plant, I said to Spike, I ain't saying shit. He leaves me with mysteries. Let's leave him with a mystery.
Nice.
And so I saw him a week after that, and he said, boss, he said, did something happen to the plant? And I said, it's a mystery, isn't it? And he goes, it is a mystery. And I go, it's like that boat showing up in the parking lot. I said, you tell me your mystery, I'll tell you mine. And then when I told him it was the dog, he was amazed because he really thought that had been a rat there or there was some other creature.
Plant-eating rat.
He was close. It's kind of rat. So yeah, we had a good time over that. We were laughing hard.
That's fantastic. Does he know now it was the dog?
He knows it was Rufus.
Is the boat still there?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
the boat's going to stay.
Yeah, I've seen the boat.
It's
a nice boat.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Mark knows it's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
No.
Wow. Well, we've said a lot here. I'm looking for some riffraff. Everybody's asking about riffraff. You need to do your part and reach out to Riffraff. Riffraff is going to be in L.A. in November, and I'd like him to come on the show. He's not responding to my my DMs. I may be able to go through former channels. Here, let's play some Riffraff right here.
We'll play some Riffraff.
I don't know if he...
November, my birthday month. I'd love Riffraff on.
But
for my birthday.
If you're a listener and you have a moment, this is Riffraff. All you need to do is message him on Instagram and say, Spike and Zuckerman and Jonny would like you to come on the show in November. And we love him. We love his music. If we've said anything insulting, we didn't intend to.
That's our regular disclaimer. We didn't mean it. Sorry you feel that way.
But we'll help.
Voucher.
We'll help promote your show.
Worthless vouchers.
He would be. He could be the first musician to come on and sing his song live. And he's hilarious on Instagram. He's really funny. He's really good at the social media.
Maybe him and Jerry can get on together.
There's not a world where Jerry would share a stage with Riffraff.
Oh, the Spike's Car Radio world?
Nope. Look, everybody's applauding for Riffraff. That's our show. That's it. We hope you enjoyed it. Just remember, when you're writing that review, it was fucking free. And we'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.